You've been videoing, haven't you?
Yeah.
Literally about to say not Pato telling that girl to ask out, what's his name?
Nolan.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was actually funny.
He's like, please. Oh my gosh. Get this man a girlfriend because
he's
I can't say
lonely.
he's too
lonely.
long. You know what?
Yeah,
I
that's rich
respect.
coming from Pato, though. That's rich coming from Pato.
Y'all, check out what my lovely sisters got me. Ignore the fact that the security tag is still on it. They got me the Formula One jacket from Target. It's super big on me. They were like, my sister, oh my god. Becca was like, we should get her the medium. Guess what size this is?
The small.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you think the medium would look like on me?
It's Kenzie.
Hi.
It's Kenzie.
That's what I thought it was.
Say hi to everyone. We're recording. Did you need anything? Oh, okay.
I just haven't seen you.
You saw me a couple days ago.
Just haven't talked to you in a hot minute.
By the way, I'm sending a surprise with you. Well, with Aunt Jen to you.
Is it more brownies? Because I already finished this.
No, it's not brownies. I think you'll be very happy with this surprise.
Oh. Like a new one, gosh. I did get my own something. Mom, I ran stay on a speaker for 12 hours straight.
Why did you do that?
Because Ryan said he wouldn't break it on with us.
Oh, like the goat this
I'd be
weekend.
right outside of his room.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
It's the same one.
Oh.
I found it.
All right. Well, we got to keep recording here, okay?
I'll watch it.
Okay, you better. Okay, bye. She left. Great. Okay, well, that's great. Moving on. That was a cameo of my little sister. So, how do I get rid of that? There we go. Okay, F1. We're both repping, although I'm repping IndyCar.
I'm just repping Yuki. I wear this shirt a lot, y'all. I have to give it, the Red Flag podcast has some comfortable t-shirts. I bought her that shirt. I bought myself this shirt.
Yeah.
It has this on the back.
F1 Canada. We're gonna do our best to get through this episode. It's gonna be a little discombobulated, but you know what? Who cares? I'm also not going to put a lot of effort into editing this because I want it to be able to go out tomorrow at 3 p.m. and I'm just gonna do my best to edit whatever I can. So if there's less graphics or it doesn't look as edited as it normally is, that's because it isn't.
You could have just said I edited it because I never put that much effort into it.
Oh, no. We don't do that. I'm not throwing you under the bus. Are you kidding me? But yes, we will recap a little bit of the race and update you on the constructors and driver standings. Not that there's much update there. And yeah, we're just gonna vibe with this episode, you know? We'll talk a little bit about what happened, our thoughts specifically on the race. So you'll get to hear that in a little bit here.
Awesome. Okay, sorry. So, I mean, some little tidbits from what I saw in the last couple days. Our top 3 fastest laps were Russell, Norris, and Oscar. I thought I would just add that in there, because why not? George was kind of a surprise to me. I didn't realize George was the fastest lap. Apparently he was. And then here are our driver percentages of their team points, like of how much percent they're bringing in points, if that makes sense. Gasly is bringing in 100%. Hulkenberg is bringing in 100%. Verstappen is bringing in 96%. Ocon is bringing in 79%. Albon is bringing in 76%. Hadjar is bringing in 75%. Russell's bringing in 68%. Stroll is bringing in 64%. Charles is bringing in 57%. And Piastri is bringing in 53%. Which that tracks because Lando and Piastri are both doing really good this season, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's kind of a 50-50 for them. But yeah, I just think it's funny that Gasly and Hulkenberg are both bringing in 100% of their points, but it's not a surprise.
Yeah, like they both have rookie teammates. I mean, I don't even think, if I'm being honest, I don't think that Bortoletto will score points this season at all. And like with Pierre, Jack got close in Miami and then they swapped him. And now Franco's in and Franco's still not doing the best. So
It's an Alpine problem, sorry. And then, surprise, surprise, the Canadian Grand Prix will stay on the F1 calendar till 2035. So if you were concerned, don't be.
well, I don't even know. I mean, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, it's not like Miami, where Miami could potentially be underwater, but I mean,
If you guys were concerned, that's crazy.
yeah, like next year we're coming to Canada in May, and literally, like, it can still snow in Montreal in May.
Mm-hmm.
So next year's race will be interesting. I will have to make this as a note to self. If it's, well, I should pick Mercedes to win regardless because it's going to be cold.
All right, so here are the constructor standings. Much really hasn't changed other than Mercedes jumped Ferrari. Ferrari was in second last week, or the last race. Now Mercedes is in second. McLaren hasn't changed. McLaren is still in the lead with 374. Mercedes they do have 199, so they're getting into the 200 sooner than later. Ferrari has 183, Red Bull has 162, Williams has 55, Haas has 28. Haas did technically jump Racing Bulls, but both of them have 28 points. Aston Martin jumped Sauber. They have 22. Sauber has 20, and Alpine has 11. I still think it's funny that Ferrari still has more points than Red Bull, but like the only points that Red Bull's getting is through Max, basically. I mean, I still think it's funny though, because I'm like, Ferrari beating Red Bull? Okay. And so here are the driver standings. They haven't changed either, other than the points have gone up. The only person that got jumped was Hajar. He had 21. Esteban jumped him with 22. If you guys really want to know the standings, go look at our last video. But I told you the change. Our F1 website really helps. All right, now to the Canada recap.
Okay, so FP1, the top three are Max, Alex, and Carlos. Someone crashed at some point. It was Charles. It was Charles who crashed. Oh my gosh. Yes, that was huge because that took him out for FP2. So he didn't practice. Like, he crashed 15 minutes into the session, FP1, and then he did not race at all, FP2. And yeah, that was great. But then FP2, the top three were George, Lando, and Kimmy. And then FP3, well, someone crashed in FP2. I think it was Ollie Behrman, but don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it was Ollie, though. And then FP3, top three were Lando, Charles, and George. I don't think anything really happened in FP3, if I'm being honest. So, yeah. But then in qualifying, the first five out were Gabby, Carlos, Lance, Liam, and Pierre. And I think Q1 was actually where Alex's engine cover popped off on the side of his car and drew a red, and everyone was like, huh? I had it on the TV at the time, and my siblings were playing a game in the back, but my brother looks up, he goes, "Is that the side of his car just popping off?" And I was like, yes. Yes, it is. Someone didn't do their job.
No. And it's always like, I think it's like, I feel so bad for Alex, but it's always Alex with something random just happening to his car. Like, you remember when he was leaving and they left like the cooling system in his car and he just drove off without it, and then like, of course, the side of his car just popping off, and leave it to Alex to make things interesting. And
Or Alex's crew. To make it interesting, not
Yeah,
necessarily
it's not
Alex.
it's not necessarily Alex. Alex is just having to deal with it.
Yeah, poor guy.
Kudos to him.
And then the next 5 out were Esteban Ocon, Ollie, Nico, Franco, and Yuki. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised with Yuki, but didn't he end up having to start from the pit lane because of a power unit issue?
He got a 10-second, like a 10. No, that was the race. No,
Liam got a 50 place grid drop and he started from the pit lane, I
yeah, and
believe.
he's still
'Cause of
DNF'd.
because of a power unit issue. But then Q3 results. So George took pole over Max, Oscar, Kimmy, and Lewis in 5th, Fernando in 6th, Lando in 7th, Charles 8th, Hajar 9th, and Alex 10th. Q3, but I remember George being really hyped about getting pole, and honestly, like, I saw the lap times, and I texted you this, and I was like, why did we not go out on mediums? Why did we just use the softs? I mean, I get it, like, strategy-wise, like, you want to save the mediums for the race, because you only have a certain allotted amount of each tire, but George set the pole lap on a medium tire. Why
Mhm.
are we not doing that? Why are we not doing that? That's just what I want to know.
You know, this is like the second time too that we've had an instance where was it Ashton Martin who did the kind of whole like different tire strategy, and I don't think it was Ashton who did it. Was it Aston
Yes.
Martin? The different
Mhm.
strategy, and they had great results. Meanwhile, like McLaren had bad results because they stuck with like what was it, like soft tires or something. I'm like,
Yeah,
something.
back in Spain,
I feel
they did
like
that.
I think it was Spain. Anyways,
Yeah, it's all starting to blur.
yeah. I'm like, it's
But
urban food. What?
right? But we have the podium results. So George won, not shocking. Max in 2nd and Kimmy in 3rd. Kimmy becomes the 3rd youngest Grand Prix person on
Winner.
the podium, with 18 years, 294 days. Max is the first with 18 years and 223 days. And Stroll, surprisingly, is on there behind Max with 18 years and 239 days. But then the rest of the race results. So 4th place was Oscar, 5th place was Charles, 6th was Lewis, 7th was Fernando, 8th was Nico Hulkenberg, and back to potentially back points finishes. 9th place was Esteban Ocon, and 10th place was Carlos. 11th was Ollie, 12th was Yuki, 13th was Franco, 14th was Gabby, 15th was Pierre, 16th was Isaac, and 17th was Lance. And then Lando, Alex, and Liam all DNF'd due to either a wreck or mechanical issues. Alex had a power unit issue, and Liam had a cooling unit issue, and we all know what happened with Lando. But if you don't know, race recap. So, lap 1, Lando and Charles were the only two in the top 10 to start on hard tires. Everyone else elected to start on mediums, and I think honestly, I think that strategy worked out better than starting on mediums, switching to hards, and then putting on another set of hards. I think the hard, medium, hard was the strategy. But yeah. And then still lap 1, Kimmy overtook Oscar, and Alex had to take avoiding action down into turn 3. Drove through the grass. Yeah, it wasn't great. And then nothing really happened until lap 11, where Orlando overtook Fernando, and Fernando really didn't give him much of a hard time. He just kind of let him through, which, that's good awareness because your race is not against a McLaren.
Yeah.
And then lap 16, Lando overtook Lewis, and Lewis got called into the pits to box for new tires, and they put him on hards. And then lap 38, Red Bull pitted Max in order to undercut Kimi, which ended up happening in lap 39. Mercedes kind of made a bad call, but at the same time, it's like Max probably drove a really fast lap to undercut Kimi there, and yeah, that wasn't great. So that cost Kimi second place. I think Mercedes easily could have had a 1-2.
Oh, yeah.
But that didn't happen. And then lap 34, Oscar ended up catching up to Kimi, which in turn, lap 66 results in, well, Lando was able to catch up in this time, resulting in lap 66, where Lando overtakes Oscar in the hairpin. They go side by side down the straight, but Oscar has the inside line, and it goes into lap 67, where Lando goes into the wall. He touches Oscar's back left tire, and there was no room. And that resulted in a safety car, and that's how the race finished.
I just, okay, so at this point, I wasn't able to watch it. I could only listen to it because I was driving, safety first. And I just hear like the commentators are just talking about Lando and Oscar, them fighting each other basically, trying to get past each other, trying to overtake each other. And then I hear that Lando has taken the hairpin and all this, and then I hear, oh, Lando in the wall. I'm like pulling into my house. I'm like sitting in my yard, like.
Wait.
The funny thing is, I'm behind because of internet issues. I'm driving, so I'm not going to be like on perfect. So I'm getting text messages from him, and I have my phone up on like the thing where I can like at least see like if I want to change music and stuff. And I see the message right before it happens. Oh no! Like no, what is that? I hear it happen, and I'm like, no. It's like because I'm behind. I'm like, we have a chance. You know, Lando could overtake Oscar and this, and this, and then bam! And I'm like, and I can't react with like a dramatic no because I'm driving. So I get into my yard and I'm just sitting there in complete shock because I know at this point the race is done. There is no more laps. Like, I'm like. But the first, I guess I should say the first thing I see is it's a Mercedes win. So I'm like, oh. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm like, well, she didn't say who else is on the podium. And then I get the no. And I'm like, oh, no.
And that's how I spoiled the race for Julie.
It's like, oh, okay, good race, I guess. But
no,
then, like,
that happening was literally my 13th reason this weekend. I was just so done. Guys, I kid you not, I started tearing up when he hit Oscar. I was like, no, this is gonna not be how this is happening.
You guys, like, I was sitting in my yard, just staring into space, like, what did I just witness by, like, what, I'm getting, like, flashbacks from last year when, like, Lando went into Max and that whole thing. I'm just like.
In Austria.
And that's coming up, guys.
Speaking of which.
I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. It's great. It's, it's great being an F1 fan, It's not great being a Ferrari fan, but it's just, or an Alpine fan. You're very dedicated if you're an Alpine fan.
For real.
Very dedicated. Anyways, so that's how our experience was with the last lap of the yeah. But Kimi got on podium finally after we had said there would be a chance eventually. I honestly should have put him on. I was thinking about it too, but I'm like, no. I mean, you never know with rookies. Man proved me wrong, and you know what? I respect it.
You said Ollie or Kimi, and I just said Kimi. So technically, you're not wrong.
I was the one that just said Ollie, but you know what? Bless.
No, you said Ollie or Kimi.
Yeah, I was wrong about Ollie.
And if you want to see why she mentioned that, hopefully it goes big on me here, but go check out this video because this is our F1 season predictions. I hope I pointed the right way. If not, that's going to be awkward.
Yo, Fun fact, I said Lewis would get a podium, so I was not good at predicting.
Well, I had Nico in last place, and that's not happening, so
What did I have? I probably said Stroll.
you did.
I'm wrong too, so I should have said Colapinto, but he wasn't in the lineup yet. If you did like it, like it. Please subscribe because we have more videos coming out this week, and we're finally seeing each other this weekend, so we're going to be filming a bunch of other videos. Probably not a bunch, but like a couple. So please keep a lookout for those videos, and if you want to get reminded, turn on our post notifications. Again, subscribe. And if you want to check out our other social media pages, because we'll probably be posting hopefully a couple things on our social media pages other than YouTube, so the links are in our bio. And let us know the trauma you went through with this race in the comments.